All right, Stephanie's going to be here in a couple of minutes. How's my hair look? Does my hair look good? Do these glasses make me look fat? Hey guys, coming to you pre-tape from the Best Coast Show Studios. This is Best Coast Show. I am your host, Albert Aguilera. That is my producer, Curtis Stage. And with us today, we have a very special guest. She is the producer of the Two-Man Advantage on NHL Network. She does stuff for mayorsmanners.com. She's part of the Fourth Period magazine. She does hockey in heels, and she single-handedly stopped the Mumps from hitting the LA Kings locker room last season. Stefanie Marie, everybody.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much for being on our show today. We actually have a lot of things to talk about. And Curtis, why don't you tell us what's on our rundown today?
Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is how did the Kings get back to the finals? Are the players we picked up making up for who we lost? What about the new cap space? Is that going to make a difference? Where do the Kings project to end up in the Pacific? Maybe we'll also talk about the Ducks too. And then LA Sports Hall of Fame. And also, Stephanie's been covering both teams all summer. How do you stay professional, right? And set your fandom aside?
Yeah, how do you do that? Because we're not professional. If I'm interviewing, a Kings player, I'm going to make sure he looks great.
Right.
But if I'm interviewing a Ducks player, I would be like, hey, you suck. Like, how do you set your fandom aside and become professional?
Well, honestly, I got my start in the playoffs this year in 2015, April. The Kings were already out of the playoffs, and my opportunity lied with the Ducks. So I figured Kings are out, may as well go ahead and go for the opportunity. And the Ducks players and staff was so nice. They made it so easy for me to just love the team and be able to cover them. So there was really no issues.
Yeah, and we understand that from a personal level. They're probably very nice people. They're decent human beings. They help their causes. They read to the blind. But on a professional level, we are not allowed to like them because we are Kings fans. And it's not like Anaheim Angels, who they don't play in the same division as the Dodgers, and they're not even in the same league, but the Ducks are down the street and they're in the same division.
Yeah, it's very difficult. I mean, first of all, their uniforms right off the bat. I can't even do that. Okay, when they were the Mighty Ducks, it was ridiculous.
No, I didn't have a problem with the Mighty Ducks.
You don't?
Didn't you guys love the Mighty Ducks movie?
I grew up on that.
I was
so
our
I was
time.
okay with that, but their jerseys are ugly. Their jerseys are ugly.
They're not that bad.
The all black is not bad, but then they're just copying the Kings. So that's a situation.
All right, well, that's awful. Well, the team's a little different now. We lost a lot of players. We picked up a few. How does this team make it back to the finals?
Well, they're doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. Doughty, Brown, and Quick are in the best shape of their life. They have a new mentality. They're not going to wait till February to try and make it to the playoff run. They worked hard. They've got a bunch of new players that are really going to help us out. Luch. You guys love Luch, right?
Yeah. I'm going to be on Luch. Until he can show me that he's here for us and not a one-off year before he likes to go out to Vancouver, I'm reserved on him. I hope he does well because he's on our team. He's going to be on that first line with Gabrick and Kopitar. I hope he's got a great year for his sake in the sense that it is a tryout year for him because he's going to be a free agent.
Right.
But I don't want him to just kind of phone it in this year and be like, all right, let's just get to Vancouver already.
Right.
I'm not saying, hey, let's extend the guy, but Dean strikes me as the let me give you a 7-year deal in the event that we win the cup with you. So, I don't mind 7 years of Luch if we win another cup. That's not an issue.
Yeah, I think he's going to be playing great with Kopitar and Gabrick. He has a great energy. I was able to be around him during the training camp and just was really excited to be there and working really hard to create that energy and passion, with working alongside with Gabrick and Kopitar. I think he's going to be a great addition and score a lot of goals.
I hope so. Now, does Lucian Aronoff, because, Aronoff's also on a 1-year deal where it's a tryout year for him. Hopefully he gets back to his old ways. Do these guys make up for the loss of Voynov, for the loss of Stoll and Richards and Justin Williams?
And Regeer.
Yeah. Well, Regeer was leaving regardless. He was going to retire. These other guys, due to their own issues. Yeah.
We a lot of the team did leave us, but I think we have a lot of really good young defense. Some of them are going to be staying on AHL. But I think we're going to be fine defensively. Martinez stepped up real big last night. I don't know if you guys watched the game. I thought he did a really great job. Doughty and Muzzin are going to be fantastic. Green, who was injured, didn't play yesterday. I think that they're going to be fine defensively.
Well, I hope so. And I don't want to see – I love Drew, but I don't want to see him playing 33 minutes a night again.
That's not the plan.
We knew why that happened last year because we had no defensive depth because of the injuries and the Voynov stuff. So I'm hoping that Aronoff does step up and – he eats up some of those minutes. Muzzins doesn't get hurt. He eats up some of those minutes. Martinez keeps his head off the boards and stays healthy and eats up some of those minutes. Which leads us to our next thing. It's what do we do with this new cap space? We were handicapped last year because we were handcuffed. We had no idea what we were doing with Mike Richards' contract, which is still a little bit up in the air. We had no idea what we were doing with Slava's cap space. But Aronoff's only making 1.3 this year. And I know the elephant in the room is what are we going to do with Kopitar? Do you see him as the kind of guy that is going to, like, I don't want to say ruin the franchise, but is he going to say, I need top dollar, I need Kane Taves money, I need to ruin your cap space?
Okay,
I mean, why wouldn't he ask for that?
Well, I mean, he's one of the best centers in the league, but at the same time, he's won 2 cups here. He likes the team. He likes the city. He owns 2 homes right next to each
But
other.
he's got to pay for those homes.
So
They're expensive.
I'm going to do a little more research on this because I just found this out on the way here. But okay, he has a whole year left with the Kings. And the Kings' payroll is much different than, for example, the Blackhawks. The Blackhawks, Kane and Taves make big money, and the other guys don't make quite as much.
Right.
So they've got their star players.
Except for Seabrook. Seabrook just got that 8-year deal.
True that. But the Kings, if you notice, people are always like, oh, you guys don't have any star players. Pretty much everyone is paid the same. So if Kopitar is paid that big money, it's going to really screw everything up and forget any chance.
Because Drew already gets paid, what, 8 a year? Yeah, Drew's up there.
So forget about trying to bring back Luch, because I mean the Bruins are absorbing half of his salary this year anyway. I mean that's a lot of money that he wants. So.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But they're going to figure something out. They'll work out a deal.
I hope so, because Dean's really creative with how he does things. And unfortunately, the way the NHL structures their cap space is a hard cap. It's dollar for dollar. You can't go over, because if you go over, you start forfeiting games, and you don't want to do that. So it's great that we have this space. But did we give up a lot to essentially pick up? Aronoff and Luch, because Jones is gone as well. That's one guy we didn't mention. He left.
Jones is gone, and quite honestly, following the Kings, I respect Jones. I think he's a great goaltender, and he really wanted to start. He was ready to be a starter.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to be able to be a starter in Boston, but luckily now he's in San Jose, and he's going to start, and I think he's going to be a great goaltender. So
now here's my thing with Jones. Is he that good, or is he a product of the defense that he plays with in LA? Because look at Scrivens. Scrivens was great, but now out in Edmonton, who they're not the best team, but he doesn't do so great there. Same thing with Bernie out in Toronto. He was great for us, but now out in Toronto, he's not. I mean, is Jones a product of our system? Because we have the highest puck possession in the league, shots against, shot attempts. Defensively, we are top 2, top 3 team in the league every year.
That's interesting you bring that up, because a couple of people have tweeted me, Martin Jones looks a lot like Quick. He's picked up Quick's style. I'm like, well, they have the same goaltending coach. So that quite possibly could have something to do with it, and the team that he played with out here. And then he did look a lot like Quick. I think it's just going to take some time to tell. It's still preseason.
So do we tear him up October 7th? Opening night. Do we put up 3-4 on Jones? Because their styles are similar because they have the same coach.
That's a good question to ask him on Saturday. They're playing the Ducks. So
okay.
Give me a question to ask, and I will shoot it off. I'll periscope
Speaking of Jonathan Quick, I'm a little worried in the sense that, I mean, he's in the prime of his career right now because what is he, 29 or something like that? But his save percentage went down to 17th in the league right now. Our defense has to be really good, because if you're that far down in save percentage, more goals are getting in last year than they were the prior years. So where are the Kings with Jonathan Quick? I mean, do they have a short leash on him, or
I don't
what
think
happens?
so. Not at all. This is the first year in the last few years where Jonathan Quick isn't coming into the season from a surgery.
Yeah.
Right.
He had the entire summer off, no surgery, no wrist surgery, no back surgery, nothing.
So that maybe made a difference last year. So that's what you're saying. He's
he
in the
also
best
played a
shape
record
right now.
number.
Yeah. He's very, very fit, very thin, very toned. He looks good.
I saw that picture of Dustin Brown. I was like, dude's jacked. I think they're going to make him pee in a cup. This guy is jacked.
He is in such good shape.
Yeah.
Such good shape.
But I think that's what happens. Unfortunately, we didn't make the playoffs, but it gave the guys time to let their body rest and not sit around and lounge and drink beer for 3 months. We're going to get ready for next season.
I'm sure some of them did.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. Let's pretend we live in a perfect world.
Yay.
There are no injuries. Our players are not doing drugs. They're not trying to murder their wives. Where do we end up in the Pacific Division?
I think the Kings will be second or third.
I fall in the same boat every year. I tell people this. I concede the division to the Ducks every year, and people are like, "You're crazy." I don't
Ducks
know.
are first.
The Ducks are a
my
regular
God.
season team.
Don't.
They're a regular season team because they're there for a sprint. They're not there for a marathon. If I were like a bookie or a gambling man, and it was a playoff where every playoff was only one game or best 2 out of 3, I'd pick the Ducks every time. They're a team that's built for firepower, but unfortunately they give up just as many goals as they score. So when you're playing the Ducks over the course of 7 games, and this is a team that does not adjust defensively and isn't as physical, and you grind them down 5 or 6, 7 games, that's what makes the difference. That's why the Blackhawks are so much better. That's why the Kings are better in 7-game series. On a one-off, I'm going to take the Ducks every time. But I agree. I think the Kings will probably end up 2nd and 3rd place. And Dean says it every year, and he says our goal is 100 points. Last year, had they scored 100 points, they would have made the playoffs. Unfortunately, they didn't. But let's talk about the LA Sports Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Stephanie, I don't know if you're aware of this, but we're trying to start the LA Sports Hall of Fame.
Woo!
There's a California Sports Hall of Fame. There's a million Sports Hall of Fames. But there is no specifically Los Angeles Sports Hall of Fame. Who goes into your LA Sports Hall of Fame?
Well, I grew up playing hockey myself, and I was a goaltender. I'm sure you can imagine that. My favorite player growing up, well, let's see. Actually, let me backtrack. I have to figure out a better way to say this so I don't get in trouble. In my LA Sports Hall of Fame, Jonathan Quick.
But he's still playing.
He's already.
But I like him. Forever than Gretzky.
See,
Okay,
I was
You know
against
what?
that.
I'm going to pick Gretzky because my favorite quote is, and it's on Tinder, but you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I love Gretzky, and I think he's amazing. So I was
I don't use Tinder. How do you say yes on Tinder? Left or right?
right. Swipe right.
Do you just have a picture of your heels on Tinder? That's there.
I always
see
make
that?
sure I don't edit. I don't do selfies because I have to get the heels in. So I have to do the long picture version.
Nice.
You guys run into Stephanie on Tinder. You swipe right.
Yeah. So you say
Top
Gretzky. We said. I mean, I'm kind of in the boat of Gretzky too, and just in the sense that he brought hockey really to California.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
And kind of changed the face of hockey here. But he's not really an LA guy. I mean. But if we're talking
Oilers.
hockey players, maybe he's there.
I was against it. I was against him getting a statue outside of Staples.
I was gonna say
What
he's
about
got
Luke
his dude's got a
Robitaille?
statue.
What
I
about
like
Robitaille?
Robitaille.
Okay, Robitaille played almost his entire career here, and he did great things for the Kings.
Yes.
He left us to go to Detroit. He won a cup in Detroit,
Tough.
but he came back and as a front office guy, won 2 cups here. He did something, and I love Wayne Gretzky. I respect him for what he did. He brought Los Angeles as a mainstream sport, hockey. That's what he did. He brought hockey here, and.
I'm so thankful for.
But he didn't win anything here.
he didn't
And
win.
he's not from here. There's no roots, there's no heritage, there's no nothing. And it's
Do you think that hockey?
difficult for me to accept that.
Do you think that hockey would be as popular as it is now out here if he hadn't come out and played for the Kings?
No. I don't
Are you
think so.
sure?
Yeah.
I mean, because
Positive.
no,
I agree, and that's why he's in my Hockey Hall of Fame.
All right, let's leave it at that. Albert, what's the gift of the day?
All right, guys. The gift of the day, because Stephanie's here, and you guys know that she's hockey in heels. This is more of a PSA. As you're looking at this gift, it's our gift of the day. This is an LA Kings ice girl after the 2014 Stanley Cup Finals, walking on the ice in heels and landing flat on her face. So, ladies, let's not use heels to walk on ice. I understand you'd like to look nice and a little bit taller, but don't do it on ice. It is not safe. All right, guys, well, that is our show. Don't forget to stalk us on Twitter at Best Coast Show. Don't forget to stalk Stephanie on Twitter. It's at Hockey and Heels TV. If you see her on Tinder, swipe right, be nice, and you guys have a good night.